Welcome to Alphabet Broadcast, the very best in presentation and information around the clock. Brought to you in collaboration with East 15 World Performance and its head, Ramiro Silveira. Today we've got an exciting story for an exciting class. And bringing us into their world, we have our main correspondent, Robin Kerr, live on the scene. Robin, do you read us? We're very well up here, thank you. And how are things in sunny Southend? Very good. Robin, would you mind telling us what brings you to the Gateway building this morning? You mean men like Stanislavski, Meyerhold, Otto, Grotowski, Brook. You mean a man like Eugenio Barba, former student of Grotowski, founder of the Odin Theatre and the International School of Theatre Anthropology, expert in Eurasian techniques and examining professor at the Aarhus University in Denmark. Gladly. Our story begins in the quiet city of Brindisi, the natural port of the Adriatic Sea. Located in the region of Apulia in southern Italy, the year is 1936, on the 29th of October, and when there's a baby born every 7 seconds, amongst them is Eugenio Barba. Yes, here he spent his childhood with his grandmother, raised warmly and religiously in the intimacy of his family. At age 11, however, he sadly witnessed his father's passing, dying of his wounds he received in the Second World War, causing a realization in the world and its moments of truth. At age 14, Eugenio joined the Nunziatella Military Academy in Naples.
Crown Prince Olaf of Norway.
Funny story about that. The Welders favoured Eugenio and admired him for his Mediterranean exoticism, and often treated him either like a teddy bear or a simpleton. And because of the language barrier, this caused him to try and decipher facial expressions and movement that he would later use in his research. Bet you didn't know that! Hold up now, Robin. I think we're going a little fast for the poor acting students. Give them some time to write down this information. And we're back. Following his degree, he then received a scholarship to study theatre in Warsaw, Poland, at the State Theatre School. However, Barba was unsatisfied with the training, and a year later travelled to Opel to work with Jerzy Grotowski, then director of the Theatre of 13 Rows.
No, hello. Now don't think about older. Now, about older. No. Oh.
Next, you must rediscover those persons.
But more on that later. Because of his interest in Asian theatre arts, Barba travelled to India to study Kathakali in 1963 at the Kalamandalan School in Cherathathuri in Kerala. Shut up! At the time, this type of theatre was practically unheard of in the West. Barba wrote a popular essay about it that got published in Italy, France, the United States and Denmark. Not to mention his first book about Grotowski was also released in 1965. Grotowski, In Search of a Lost Theatre, which was published in Italy and Hungary. Blah, blah, blah. Don't bother writing that down. I'll put up a full bibliography at the end of this presentation. No, it doesn't. You're editing this. But, being foreign, it was hard to find work he was accepted at, so instead found a few people who weren't accepted into the State Theatre School and created the Odin Theatre in Oslo on the 1st of October 1964. A full list of its productions can also be found at the end of this pretentious presentation. But for now, it's time for a writing break. And now, a word from our sponsor.
Laura, why aren't you in a bathtub?
With all these dishes?
Richie said you were taking a bubble bath.
No, I said Joyce.
And we're back. Following the success of the Odin Theatre in 1966, Barba was invited to Holstebro, Denmark, to create a theatre laboratory in an old farm with a small sum of money, which he chose to use as their base of operations. Taking the idea further, this caused Barba to create his most influential achievement yet. In 1979, he founded ISTA, the International School of Theatre Anthropology, created to gather both the masters of East and West theatre in the spirit of Grotowski theatre. They had their first session for a month in Bonn, and the teachers were artists from Bali, China, Japan, and India. Kind of like world performance. But again, more on that later. ISTA in the Odin Theatre kept Barba quite busy, and further still in the year of 1988, he was awarded a PhD honoris causa in philosophy by the University of Denmark in Aarhus, where he continues to work still as an examining professor.
Para los que quieren comprender cómo es la situación, cuál es la diferencia entre un teatro...
Busy man, and we get stressed over a simple music presentation and voice monologues. Also, his brother was Ernesto Barba, the famous Italian hotelier. Truly, to talk of all of Eugenio Barba's achievements would require more time and more people. So that's exactly what we did. To go into more detail about theatre anthropology, the Odin Theatre, and many of Barba's own techniques, we've composed a team of highly skilled researchers to take on the task that I was too lazy to do. We also want to thank our correspondent Robin for being here today. This has been Alphabet Broadcast, the very best in information and presentation. Wishing you a good day.